What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. What I want to get into today on this lovely Monday, can still count as Victory Monday if the Jets won on Thursday. I'm going to count it, I guess. Why not? But anyway, moral of the story, what I want to get into today is looking at the state of the AFC East and how the Jets have benefited so far and could still potentially benefit tonight. This video is powered by BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150, get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit. Then it's 125% on your next two deposits, up to $2,000. Get in on the action. That's what I'm doing. My gambling for the 2024 NFL season. Wanted to take a look at the current state of the AFC East odds, as the Buffalo Bills are leading the division at 2-0. They are the favorites right now at -125. The Jets are second at +145. So that's bet 100 to win $145 if you would like to do that. Miami Dolphins dropped to +850 to win the division, and New England sitting at +3,300. So if you think the Jets are still a team that could win this division, maybe you want to get in on them as they are in second place and before they eventually move up to number one in the division. So first, we'll start with what the Jets actually did in week 3, which they played a division opponent and improved to 1-0 in the division with a 24-3 statement win over the New England Patriots. Do I expect the Pats to be great this year? No, I really don't. But through the first 2 games of the year, they were playing tough defense. They were stingy. They were hanging around in games, and the Jets did their part. They got up on them early, and New England is not built to throw their way back into a game. That's just not what they are built for, what they're able to do at this point. And the Jets won. And it's weird because it feels like the bar got moved after the game, like all week. And I did it too, to an extent, but just giving the full preview and what I thought was going to happen. I talked about how well New England played in the first 2 games. You know, they went to overtime in their one loss. They upset Cincinnati, and the defense played really well. And then after talking up the Patriots and the Jets go out there and win 24-3, the reaction then is, well, the Jets were supposed to do that, and New England's not supposed to be any good this year. Now, that's not what I was saying. I was happy with the performance. I think there was a lot that you could take out as positives, but the national media kind of went from, well, like, Patriots might be underrated. We might have been overlooking them, and then the Jets win the game by 3 touchdowns, and it's, well, the Pats were never supposed to be good anyway. Why are Jet fans talking about, like, printing their Super Bowl tickets? It's like, well, no, that's also not fair, because we have watched this team do nothing offensively for essentially our entire lifetime, right? Like, the Jets have 9 offensive touchdowns in their first 3 games. They didn't get 9 offensive touchdowns till week 11 last year. So, like, I really don't want to hear it on being excited about Aaron Rodgers and this Jets team. Like, no one's saying that the Jets are locked to win the Super Bowl. They're going to do it. They're going to win the whole damn thing. No, but we're excited because, again, we're seeing something we literally have never seen before. And they're playing really good football, and they have the longest active playoff drought in the sport. Yeah, we're going to be a little bit excited, and that's okay. One of those fan bases trying to poo-poo in a lot of ways the New York Jets' excitement is the Miami Dolphins. And I heard a lot this offseason that the Jets were overrated by a lot of, not all, but a lot of Dolphins fans, and that we were sleeping too much on the Miami Dolphins. And in week 2, Tua gets hurt, horrific injury, scary stuff. He goes on IR. He's going to be out for at least 4 games. But Miami then has to turn to Skylar Thompson, their backup quarterback, and they don't look very good at all. They lose to Seattle, who's played well so far this year, but they lose 24-3. They lose by 3 touchdowns. Tim Boyle has to come into play, which I've had the unfortunate experience of having to watch Tim Boyle not only play but start games for this team. But they go he goes 7 of 13 for 79 yards, and it's just like, life without a starting quarterback is really hard. And specifically, this fan base was so critical of how the Jets were last year and how they were overrated, and the defense was overrated because they were able to put up these points on the Jets without factoring in everything else that went into it. Like, you know, Achane wasn't great in this game. He had 30 yards and averaged 2.7 yards per attempt. Do I think Achane is bad? No, but when Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle is starting, defenses are allowed to, or not allowed, but they're able to cheat up a little bit. Tyreek Hill didn't do much in this game. 3 catches for 40 yards. Jalen Waddle, 4 for 26. It sucks. It stinks losing your starting quarterback, because when you go to someone like Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle in the year of our Lord 2024, which is just insane that he got another job after last year, this is what happens. It's tough. It is tough. So, like, it's hard for me. And again, I don't ever want to see anyone injured. It sucks. It's a violent game. And Tua's had a ton of injuries in his career. It's hard for me to find sympathy for this team, though, when the Jets went through something very similar last year, and it was a point and laugh at the Jets thing. Like, and that's not just specifically this fan base, although a lot of it was coming from that fan base, but around the league. The Jets were turned into a laughingstock story. It was nobody felt bad for the Jets that they lost their starting quarterback. It was a poke fun thing. And, like, I don't know, I'm not going to feel differently after what the Jets went through last year. So the Jets benefit by the Dolphins losing this game. They dropped to 1-2. So the Jets jump them in the playoff or in the AFC East standings. They're in second place now, trailing the Buffalo Bills, which leads me to my next point, which is the Bills play tonight. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And look, Buffalo's looked awesome this year. They're 2-0. They've handled business. They put up a ton of points. Defensively, I think they've settled in pretty nicely too. They've lost a lot of pieces, but NFL's weird. We've seen a lot of strange things happen through the first 3 weeks of the year. Denver beats up on the Bucks this past week. The Giants get their first win after looking completely dead. The Panthers get their first win after looking completely dead over the Raiders, who beat the Ravens the week prior. Like, I don't know. The NFL's weird. So I'm not going to bet on it, and I don't think it's necessarily going to happen for the Jaguars to win, but I don't know. It's the NFL. If it happens, you never know. But if the Jaguars beat the Bills tonight, the Jets could be in first place of the AFC East. And I get it. I know it's early, and that's not to say, like, oh my God, if the Jets are in first place, like, that's it. They're just going to run away with it. That's not what I'm saying here. But this is a team and a fan base which has some goals. They have a goal to be a playoff team. They haven't been one in a really long time, and they haven't played a home playoff game since 2002. So yeah, I think Jets fans and this team should be looking at the schedule and should be scoreboard watching and standings watching every single week. That's what happens when you're a good football team. It's like when the Jets were bad for so long and we're looking at draft positioning after every week. That's not the case, man. I want to log on to NFL.com and look at the standings and look at the playoff picture every week. And you're allowed to start doing that early. You have to know that it's early, right? Like, you can't feel like, oh, Jets are 2-1 and they're at the top of the AFC East after 3 weeks. This is it. It's a wrap. No, you still got a lot of games left to go, man. 14 more games to prove it. But again, this is a big game, and Jet fans should have their eyes glued on this one, because it could really help them. If Jacksonville wins the game, then the New York Jets jump up to first, which is good. I would like to see that happen. But anyway, just wanted to come on here quickly and talk about how the Jets have benefited from the state of the AFC East. They beat up on a team they're supposed to. Miami didn't look very good without their quarterback. They dropped to 1-2. And we'll have a very close eye on the Buffalo Bills tonight as they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Want to shout out BetUS again for powering this video. Subscribe here if you are new. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.